See how syphilis ravaged a woman's face 500 years ago in an artistic interpretation. A facial approximation of an Icelandic woman shows that she suffered from syphilis during her lifetime about 500 years ago. And you can see not only the ravaged face, what about her brain? What about her bones, her teeth? During the 16th century, a young woman lived with a face covered with sores that hinted that she likely had tertiary syphilis, a late-stage infection that can often lead to death. Her case of the sexually transmitted infection was so severe that centuries later her skull remains riddled with bone lesions. Now, researchers have created a facial approximation of the woman as part of a new study. While not much is known about the woman's identity, she lived to be between 25-30 years old, and her body was excavated from a cemetery at the Kvíkulstur monastery in Iceland about a decade ago. In addition to having syphilis, her skeleton revealed that she had osteoarthritis and dental enamel hypoplasia, a tooth defect caused by malnutrition in childhood, according to an analysis of 3D model of the skull provided by the Northern Heritage Network, an online archive of historical skeletons. So we see how very significant it is for children to have proper nutrition in childhood. Cícero Moraes, a Brazilian graphics expert and one of the study's authors, was struck by the lesions marking her skull and released that he was looking at his next study subject. Tertiary syphilis translated into the approximation of a very impactful way. Moraes told Life Science, saying it's disquieting to see a face that looks like that, losing part of its structure, and so severe that an injury reaches the bones. Although the skull's lower jaw was missing, Moraes was able to use 3D modeled as a guide, applying virtual skull and tissue markers to help create the curvature of the deceased woman's face. He also examined other skulls of females of European descent who died around the same age as the woman in the database, as well as the contours of the virtual donor to create the final facial approximation. The cause of death, having only the skull as a reference, is very difficult to stipulate, Moraes said, but syphilis clearly brought many problems to that individual. Unlike today, when antibodies such as penicillin could quickly eliminate the disease, during the 16th century, people of European descent often relied on herbal medicines derived from Hollywood, Guaiacum sanctum, and skin ointments containing mercury to relieve the symptoms. Sweat baths were also popular and were incorrectly thought to help eliminate the syphilitic poisons, according to a 2021 article in the Journal of Military and Veterans Health. The final didactic work features swirls of lesions stretching across the woman's right cheek and creeping up to an open gash on her forehead. Researchers opted to give the woman blonde hair to make her more lifelike so that the approximation could provide an example of the development of the disease in an individual and shows how syphilis can become something very serious if not properly treated, according to the study. It's evident that today, with the medicines we have at our disposal, a situation like the approximation is very unlikely to happen, Moraes said, but improbable does not mean impossible. This is by Jennifer Nalowicki on Live Science. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.